Okay, so you want settings for your Xbox wheel on Forza Horizon 6. Well, these are track tested, fastest in the world at the time of driving, so they work. These can be very quick on Forza Horizon 6, which is great because you're going to be up against controller players. You're going to be on a game that primarily has probably been designed for controller, so you need to add extra ammunition in your wheel settings to make it a level playing field. And I've already put the wheel settings here on the right hand side. Hopefully you like that layout. Let me know if you like it. Give me a like and subscribe if you do, so I know. Hopefully that's helpful. But I'm going to explain exactly why I've done all of these settings, all the mistakes I made, and something that you can do on Xbox that you can't do on PC. So if you're an Xbox user watching this, don't tell the PC people, but we have an extra setting. So maybe Xbox for the win here. Now I am using my Logitech G Pro for these settings, which I've used for, well, I was going to say hours, but it's actually 1,500 hours I spent in Gran Turismo 7. So I know this wheel very well. I know it very well in Gran Turismo 7. I've been quite quick in Gran Turismo 7, again, winning top split races. I also have raced cars in real life, Mazdas. I've driven a Ferrari GT3 in America. So I know what to do with wheels. Like, I'm not a complete idiot, hopefully. So what I'm trying to get on Xbox is I'm trying to get a feeling that gives me consistency, gives me confidence in the car, but I don't want it to be too twitchy. I'm not going to be using a crazy Formula 1 wheel on Xbox. I'm not going to be using my Fanatec Bavarian F1 wheel. It's not going to work. Those wheels don't really exist on Xbox. And also, I don't want the driving to be too stressful. Like, I don't want it to be so twitchy that I'm constantly having to countersteer. I just want it to be predictable. I want to come home from work, turn on my Xbox, and be able to drive on Forza and not hit traffic. And you can see here, we're able to avoid traffic, and that means that we're in the sweet spot when it comes to like the rotation and the sensitivity. Remember, if you have, in fact, I think if I remember here, yeah, if your sensitivity's wrong there, you're going to hit that car every day of the week. Now, I did say these are track tested. I took this to the track. Again, have a look at my wheel input and have a look at what it's doing to the car. We are going to set, at the time, this was the fastest lap in the world. Obviously, there's loads more people playing now. We'll go back to the track. But the main point is, it's very consistent, and I don't think you're going to have this much fun on a controller. So we've got vibration scale at 1, force feedback scale at 1. We're not doing anything funky there. Center spring, I keep at 0.3. Remember, I on the Logitech wheels, I normally like center spring, but for these settings, I've dialed it well back. Some people will say just don't have it on at all, but there's something about the center spring that I like with the resistance it gives, even if it's not fully dynamic. I just like having that resistance. As a sim racer, I'm used to driving cars very fast on tracks and like really tuning in mentally to that resistance. So I think if you take all that away from me, you know, in certain dynamic moments, I'm kind of a bit lost. So I like to keep that center spring there. That's a bit controversial, but that's what I do. It works for me. Wheel damper scale. So by the way, very important, on my G Pro, I haven't put settings on screen here, but let me tell you what I've got. I've turned my rotation on my G Pro to 720. I have my force feedback filter at 2, which is very low, and I have my damper off on my G Pro. Okay, my damper is off on my G Pro, and I don't think any other settings are relevant because the True Force doesn't work in Forza Horizon 6. Then we come to mechanical trail. I've got that very low. Force feedback minimum force is quite high at 1.1. Like, some people say that's quite high, but I like it there. Force feedback load sensitivity, pretty much as always, that's 1.5 for me. I keep that very high. Road feel is 1.0. Like, I wish True Force will come and then, you know, we'll have much more granular settings there, but don't know yet. Off-road 0.6, and then these are key. These are absolutely key, and I'm going to explain why they're key. I'm going to show you some footage. Steering rotation 720 and steering speed sensitivity 0.5. If you're on PC, if you're watching this on PC, you do not have a steering rotation setting. Now, I am not fully sure what the effect of this is, like mechanically, but I know visually it matches my wheel to the actual wheel in the car, which to me makes sense. Like, I'd rather have that than not have that. With my settings on PC, like my Fanatec settings, my MOZA settings, the wheel in my hands doesn't match up with the wheel in the car. Even if I have the exact same wheel in my hands, like the Lamborghini Revuelto MOZA wheel, and the Lamborghini wheel in the car, like the rotation doesn't match up. Whereas here it does match up. Whether there's any other benefits, I'm not sure, but this really works for me. So I changed it to 720 in my Logitech G Pro, and I changed it to 720 in Forza Horizon 6. And the result is this really nice, balanced, consistent, not oversteery, very nice kind of like neutral steering setup for me. So, you know, you can see here that I'm able, if I waggle the wheel, stuff happens. That's good. If you waggle the wheel, stuff isn't happening. I would say your sensitivity or is too low, your rotation is too high. But when I waggle the wheel, I'm not fishtailing. I'm not going from oversteer to oversteer. Yes, we're on a bit of a straight road at the moment, but you'll see in corners, I'm not oversteering. And I'm not kind of like having multiple bites at the cherry. Like, it's quite predictable. You can see we can counter steer out of this. So if I was on 1080 degrees rotation, I'd probably struggle to counter steer out of that. But if you look at my inputs, they're fairly predictable. For a game like Forza Horizon 6, that's quite a crazy game. Going to this car now in the wet, which is like an insane car, which I think there's a lot of performance you can get out of this car because it has just ridiculous amounts of turn in. But this is a good car to show because the turn in's so strong. If you have an overly sensitive wheel, you're going to be like zigzagging all over the track because it just has like a billion amounts of downforce. But it's working really nicely for me. See around here, well, you know, arguably even, dare I say, a little bit understeery, which is probably not a bad thing for a car that can be so pointy. And if you're playing Forza Horizon 6, you'll understand because it's quite frustrating. That's not the road. It's quite frustrating if you're in a car you're just fishtailing. So the other part with that rotation, 720 degrees, is that I've lowered the steering speed sensitivity to 0.5. And I think that is quite counterintuitive. And that's partly because on PC, 0.5 is the middle of your setting because you can go all the way down to 0.0. But on Xbox, 0.5 is the lowest setting. And because it's the lowest setting, I just think most people aren't going to go all the way there because it seems weird, right? Even if I'm telling you now to lower your sensitivity when you want to have a really responsive experience on a wheel, and we know Forza Horizon 5 like kind of felt like it was laggy on wheel. So, but maybe it's because I've been doing PC settings as well, but I'm very comfortable having that setting at 0.5 on Xbox, and that is, I think, the glue that builds all this together, because it means I use a 720 rotation, I don't have crazy oversteer, I have pretty predictable turn in, I can counter steer out of moments like you see there, like, you know, in a car like this car will wheel spin first, second, third gear. Like, if you have everything in a straight line and press the throttle, it will want to fishtail and oversteer. So if you're driving this car on a 1080 degree rotation, it's just going to be super frustrating. You can see even here, like, the amount of rotation we're getting on the car, the camera's swinging out so much, you can see the tyres moving. So I really hope you find these settings helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you like the way I presented it here, because there's more wheels I can do. I don't get paid to make these videos, by the way. I don't get paid a penny. I'm not paid by Forza. This is not a sponsored video by Logitech or Xbox. So please make sure you subscribe. I'll try and do some sponsored videos. That would be great if any of the wheel companies are watching, and maybe we can do some real deep dive ones. But I really hope you find it helpful. I'm very grateful for your support. It's been a lot of fun to do. A lot of time undoing stuff and connecting stuff and sitting around that it's not very glamorous, but I enjoy it. So I'll see you in the next one.